Yeah. And I mean, I
And my
guess the big thing that CJ touched on was uh, kind of the objective for why you're carrying a firearm. And I mean, it could go into gear as well. Why are you carrying a particular set of gear? Like, what's your
Mm-hmm.
environment? What is the setting? What is the scenario? What's the objective sort of deal?
yeah,
Oh,
so
Um,
kind of trying
yeah.
to explain the environment.
So we got off on that whole tangent, but
It's all good.
yeah,
It's part
so
of
it
the
started out you were asking
experience.
about what types of gear you'd have in an apocalypse scenario
Yeah, yeah,
and how much of the stuff we've made and worked with would
right.
be used in that practical scenario. I'd say that like I was saying, I'll probably have more of concealed style kit for most things, or at least at the beginning. But eventually, or for certain environments, I would probably be able to wear that police vest I've got and put plates in it and run that and comfortably, because I'd have the Velcro for any pouches and other things that I want to attach. I'd still be wearing the belt, so I'd have that. Um, like that's the main constant is the belt. A lot of what my
Yeah.
gear relies on is having that belt. But in terms of having armor, I'd say concealed or the police vest,
Yeah.
and I just use elements. Like I'd probably modify the police vest more. I'm working on that right now, in fact. But like I could definitely see myself using that to be more open about it if I were to be more open about it.
Oh yeah, I completely see that. I think what people sometimes tend to miss when uh, kind of going over the okay, what would I run sort of
Mm-hmm.
scenario is uh, people think, oh, I'm going to be on the road 24/7. I'm going to be hitchhiking,
No.
through this area, going here, going there, and they'll build their gear around. I'm never going to stay still. I won't have a home front.
yeah.
And
So it's like
I think that your pieces of gear would definitely vary depending on what you're doing. Like
Oh yeah.
bug out locations for real world scenario are definitely a big thing. But even for like Survive Omega's events, I know that when you first get into the game, and this could ring true for IRL, going to your bug out location when you first start
Mm-hmm.
to either get into game or to go to a location, you're going to have close to everything that you can possibly carry and
Oh
will be
yeah.
useful to you right then and there. But I know for like, if you were to settle down at your camp, well, your scavenging gear, your scavenging and going into town just to talk to people gear for like an event is going to be totally different than, oh shit, we have to go assault this place because of A, B, C, or D,
Yeah.
or we have to defend this place because of A, B, C, or D. Same thing if it comes to real world scenario with a home front, is if you do have a base of operations, like your gear is always going to be shape shifting almost depending on what the mission is,
yeah,
really, like what the
Oh
objective
yeah.
is. Because
yeah,
I know personally speaking, if I had the option to, and this is just like in a perfect scenario,
Yeah.
if you could create one, I would love to have a set of hard ballistic armor that might weigh a little bit more. If I know that it's going to be a pretty heavy day, we might be running into a lot of contacts
Yeah.
for that day. And also,
Like
if we're just doing like a
if we're
quick
having to go
scavenging run,
after like a raider camp
yeah,
or whatever.
so
yeah.
yeah,
If we know we're going
absolutely.
into some
Absolutely, a little bit of a heavier kit, and
Mm-hmm.
then if we were doing that, then I would totally try to get my the optimal drop or whatever, outside the waistband carry
Yeah.
gun for offensive purposes. But let's say if we're going scavenging, if we're doing this, that, or the third, we got to make a run into town. We're not sure who's going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, I'd throw on a light concealable sort of body armor that would not hinder my ability to get the hell out of Dodge as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and you're not making yourself a target. Like,
right.
And I think there's definitely a time and a place to make yourself known, to make yourself look like the baddest guy in the room.
Don't mess with me, yeah.
Like Warlord's war armor is definitely a great example,
Yes.
and I refer to that often because when he wears that, generally speaking, people do not mess with him because of the intimidation, because of what he brings to the field with that. When people see him like that, they know he's not messing around, so they should not mess with him. And I think there are certain times where you can definitely do something like that. I wouldn't do it alone, because you might notice that he's never gone out with that gear by himself. He always has a group of guys in gear of their own with him.
Yeah, when he usually has that set of armor on, usually he's not on the front lines. He's usually coordinating people.
Yeah.
He's leading from the back, or he's more or less like doing admin roles within his own compound.
Oh, definitely. Whereas with the Scav gear, he's trying to be able to get in and out without too much attention being brought to him.
Yeah, and I think Trevor and I were talking this before Prava joined in, but yeah, the gear is going to mainly factor on what you're doing, what the environment is, what your weapon is.
Yes.
This is going to be a big factor. I'm not necessarily going to run a plate carrier with a bunch of like M4 mag pouches if I'm only running a pistol. I'll wear the plate carrier if I have ballistic plates, so I can use it for body armor, but I'm not running...
Well, part of the reason why I said I'd probably do the police vest is because, like, I might not have a actual AR or anything of that variety. I might be just a pistol guy for a while.
Yeah.
And so that particular vest allows me the flexibility of not having to worry about having pouches for, like, everything. The only thing I'd need is to find a pistol pouch, and I could put that on my belt. Or if I'm using a drop, like the drop leg I have now has 2 slots for magazines. So
okay, yeah.
But
and and as far as pouches or like as far as organizing your gear, it's probably going to be a mismatch because honestly, some even Molly pouches like tool bags.
Oh yeah.
If you're specifically trying to go for tools, then using a tool bag or using a tool pouch, like what you see for carpenters, that'll probably be a lot more advantageous than running like a pouch or
I always carry at least like adjustable wrench, Allen keys, generally in metric, and maybe a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver.
Yeah, I would say even just a cheap multi-tool too. You don't have to. They make really
the Leatherman comes with a bunch of those.
That's right. You already have one.
Yeah,
I forgot you actually have a Leatherman. Yeah, those are great. I would recommend no matter what kit. That's something I would run is multi-tool.
Yeah, so it's got a knife, it's got a scissors, it's got Phillips and flathead, it's got pliers, and then a file, and I can't figure out what these other 2 things are, but I've used one of them as a makeshift bottle opener, even though I'm pretty sure that's not what it's for.
Yeah, but assuming you're the average Joe, saying you don't have any sort of gear, I think it's going to be, from what we would seen and from what kind of my mindset have been is being what you can come across.